All rise.
I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
I was not the first one to throw a walk.
Let me just tell you what you just said.
Compassionate.
I really enjoy being a judge. Now I am touching people who I will never know I touched.
She's powerful.
You should have never let them walk out of your life when she was 3.
And she's on the bench.
Don't get me preaching up in here today.
Right.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Stephen Foster is suing Bill Hackman in the amount of $2,175. Mr. Foster claims the defendant's reckless teenage son smashed into his garage door and now refuses to pay for the repairs.
Mr. Foster, you are suing your neighbor.
Yes.
And you're saying that he caused damage to a garage door.
Yes, correct.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I'm a proud single father of 2 boys, an 8-year-old and an 18-year-old. So I understand how it is to raise sons. His son, who's been reckless in the neighborhood.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Ran into my garage. So I moved into this neighborhood 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yes.
All
moved
right.
in 2 years ago. And since I moved in, I realized I actually have one of the worst neighbors in the world. He's cheap, and his son...
You talking about Mr. Hackman?
Yes.
One of the worst neighbors in the world?
Yes.
How is he one of the worst neighbors in the world?
He's cheap, he's loud, and he lets his son ride around, drive around, reckless and everything.
How old is your son, Mr. Hackman?
He's 17, Judge.
He's 17?
Yes.
Why does he say that you are the worst neighbor ever?
Because he's delusional. Ever since he moved in 2 years ago, we've had these issues.
What kind of issues?
He's trying to, everything I do, he try to outdo. Okay, so
For example?
I bought a barbecue grill. He bought a bigger one.
Okay.
I bought some skis for a trip we were going to, and then he bought a boat. I mean, so everything we do, he tries to outdo us, and I think it's ridiculous.
I mean, this doesn't seem like a healthy situation there. And was his son the reason that your garage door, you're saying, was damaged?
Correct.
So did your son cause damage to your neighbor's door?
Well, Judge, so what happened was we were I was out teaching my son how to drive that day.
Okay.
He's practicing to get his license.
All right.
It was a stick shift we were practicing in. He put it in the wrong gear, and it ended up going into the plaintiff's garage. It bumped it a little bit, causing a little damage, and then from there, now we're here in court.
So did you offer to repair the garage door since your son caused the damage?
Yes, yes.
And so why wasn't that done, and why are you here?
He changed the agreement. We agreed that I would repair the door, but
it's not true.
What happened was I came home from work one day. He had a brand new door on there. I mean, it was this big door with bells and whistles. It was a oak door with, what did it have, like frosted glass on it or something. It was one of the most expensive garage doors you could possibly get, okay?
What was the original door? What did the original door look like?
The original door, it was a basic garage door. We all had similar garage doors.
Do we have pictures? Do I have evidence? Can I see pictures
yes,
of
Judge Hatchett, right here.
I'm also including the invoice of how much I paid to pay for the new garage door.
Okay, so now let's back up, and you have some pictures?
Yes.
Okay, let me see your pictures. Now, Mr. Foster, he says that he was out teaching his son how to drive. Okay, so you all have the identical picture. Oh, okay, all right. So he's out teaching his son how to drive. Clearly, it sounds like this is an accident. He said that he offered to repair the garage door, but instead you replaced the garage door, right? Did you replace the garage door with a comparable door?
Another door that fits, correct.
No, that's not the question. The question is the door that you replaced, it was like the door you had.
No, it was different.
It was different.
Yes, it's very different.
This is very different.
Can I explain?
Please.
Okay, so I work from home.
All right.
So I'm working from home, and I hear this boom. So I ran outside to see what happened, and I see his son behind the wheel who's backing up away from my garage door.
All right.
So we have a shared driveway. On the left is my garage. On the right is his garage.
Oh, so you all are right next door to each other.
Right next door to each other.
Oh, my goodness. And
Yes.
this is even more complicated that you all
Yes.
don't get along.
For 2 years, Your Honor.
So you've got this common driveway. You're
Common
right
driveway.
next door to each
Yes.
other. And his son backs into your garage.
His son, no, drives forward into my
Drives
garage.
forward
Drives
into-
forward into my garage. Now, the issue is he took a left turn instead of a right. So if he doesn't know how to take a left instead of a right, he could have killed other people. Okay, that's dangerous, not knowing the difference between left and a right turn. Okay, so he took a left into my garage and dented my garage. I can't even open my garage. Well, I couldn't open my garage all the way because of the noise that it made because it was dented up.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Mr. Foster, why should he pay for a much nicer door than you already had?
I want to raise the property value of our community.
And I should have to pay for that? Your Honor, that's a garage door for the White House, not his house.
And later,
And you get
Correct.
the boots, and what happens?
I couldn't tell the difference between leather and fake leather, and it just smelled like fish. Now I didn't meet their expectations. I didn't post anything, and it just makes me look bad.
The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Stephen Foster, who is suing Bill Hackman for property damage.
Let me ask, would you show this to Hackman? I want to make sure that that depicts what happened. I want to show it to the defendant. Is that what the garage door looked like after your son hit it?
Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right, so there's no dispute.
Right.
We have a damaged door. I need that back,
Right.
please. We have a damaged door.
Correct.
All right, so now why didn't we get a door that looks like the door that was damaged?
Okay, so the night of the accident,
Yes.
he said that he had a guy that can come and take a look at it. So I said, okay,
All right.
bring your guy in. Okay, and I took pictures, of course. That's my picture.
All right.
And so I'm waiting 24 hours, 48 hours, and this guy never got back to me. So after about a week and a half, I just took it upon myself to go and get another garage door.
All right,
because
so,
I had
stop.
to park
Go
on
ahead.
the street instead of using my own garage. So it's inconsiderate to make me have to park outside in the street instead of using my own garage.
But now you have an invoice here for $2,175
Correct.
for a new door.
Correct.
Well, I'm concerned because if you look at the door that was damaged and then you look at the door that was replaced, those are not comparable doors. Mr. Foster, why should he pay for a much nicer door than you already had?
I want to raise the property value of our community.
And I should have to pay for that? Your Honor, that's...
So did you,
You know-
get estimates of what a comparable door would cost?
Yes, Your Honor. Your
I
Honor.
don't want to hear anything else from you right now because you're already digging yourself into a hole. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. I know a guy who he does garage doors. He repairs them, he replaces them, and he has an employee who helps him do it.
Okay, so this is the estimate that you had. You got some estimates for a new door?
Replacement door that was similar to the door that was damaged.
And that says on this estimate they range from $500 to $800.
Right, and the guy who came out, he said it would be about $800 to replace his garage door.
So, Mr. Foster, I'm going to give you another chance here to explain to me why Mr. Hackman should then pay $2,175 for this new, very, 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 very fancy door that is oak, that has windows in it, that is not comparable to the original door that you had.
The units that we live in are very, very old. So when I had an actual reputable company come out and get an estimate, they said they would have a hard time finding those old garage doors. So I told them to give me what they have and they would be able to take care of it the same day. So they installed it the exact same day and I paid for it while he was at work. So there wouldn't be I wouldn't be in the way of you coming in or anything. We cleaned up the mess before you came home.
Your Honor, that's a garage door for the White House, not his house. $2,200 door, he wants me to pay for it.
And that's
It's
why
not-
I feel
it's not
that
fair.
I'm doing him a favor by not going through the insurance because I'm saving him thousands of dollars, not immediately, but also in the future of their rates not being risen because of what his son did.
Mr. Foster, what I have a problem with is that getting a door that's 3 times the value of the door you already had. Does that seem reasonable to you that he should have to pay that much money to replace so that you get a nicer door?
It does to me.
How?
It does, again, I'm making the community look nicer, and I'm giving him a chance to upgrade his garage door to make our whole unit look better, to raise the property value so that we can have a better return on our investment of our home.
I'm going to rule on this case. Listen, you took advantage of the situation. It was not intentional. It was an accident. Hold on. It was an accident. He's out teaching his son to drive, but more important than this money in this case is that I have neighbors living literally next door to each other, side by side, in a community, and you all can't get along. What does that say? And what example are you setting for your children? I need you all to do better.
I tried to get along with them, Judge. It's been 2 years. He wanted the biggest, baddest garage door in there so he could try to outdo me. I mean,
so I should have just took it through the insurance
get along with
then.
An adult who acts like a kid.
I did you a favor, and this is what I get for the favor. I'm not going through your insurance.
You didn't do me a favor. You did me no favors at all.
I don't think you did him a favor. I think you took advantage of the situation. This kid didn't intentionally damage your garage. It's not like he was out vandalizing things in the neighborhood. He was out trying to learn how to drive. It was an accident. His father immediately took responsibility, said, look, I'll replace it. I wish you had moved faster. I wish your person had shown up faster. I do think that you're entitled to recovery, but you're not going to recover $2,175. I'm going to enter judgment on the high end. I am going to award you $800 in this matter, Mr. Foster, because I do think you're entitled to something, but I'm not going to give you your claim because of the reasons I've stated. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800, and we'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $800.
Your son did damage to my door, my garage door, and this is the things that I get. Should have gone through the insurance.
You know what? You overpaid for that door on purpose, and I'm glad the judge saw through you.
Coming up.
I couldn't tell the difference between leather and fake leather, and it just smelled like fish.
Network featuring dynamic judges and live legal programming.
Well, we're not at your school, we're in my courtroom.
Unique court shows.
Where is any information about the company?
Live legal news.
That's what you should have done.
And a commitment to justice.
Either you tried or you did it.
The next generation of court programming in one dynamic network. Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. Stay tuned. You're watching Justice Central. Coming up at 10:30, watch America's Court with Judge Ross. Then catch a double dose of We the People, followed by Supreme Justice with Judge Karen at noon. The verdict is in, right here on Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Chelsea Harlow is suing Hakeem Arazi in the amount of $750. Ms. Harlow claims Mr. Arazi sold her a pair of hard-to-get, expensive leather boots and says they turned out to be cheap knockoffs.
Hi, you're in here suing and you're saying that you didn't get what you contracted for. Tell me what happened.
So I've been doing business with Hakeem here for over a year now. I'm a fashion blogger, and I met him through a mutual friend who's also a fashion blogger. I just wanted to, order from him, and I knew that they were very high demand shoes that it would be hard to get. So I was very patient, and he knew that it would happen. I would get it within a week.
So what kind of shoes are we talking about?
Italian leather, very high demand shoes. I've ordered from him about 15 times, and everything was great. Until this last order that I received.
And what kind of business do you have?
I sell business shoe.
All right.
So I know vendors, I order from them, and then I sell them for a good deal to the customers.
So me being a fashion blogger, I need to meet my followers' expectations. So when I tell them that I'm going to be posting this certain type of outfit or whatever, I basically help him gain clientele when they ask me where I received it from.
Okay.
I got the shoes in. They looked normal.
So describe this shoe for me.
They're purple leather boots.
And Hakeem, you agreed that you were going to get these boots for her.
Yes.
And how much did you charge her for these boots?
$750.
$750. And how much were the boots ordinarily? Because you were saying you got a great deal.
$980 originally.
Coming up,
I couldn't tell the difference between leather and fake leather, and it just smelled like fish. It just makes me look bad.
The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Chelsea Harlow, who is suing Hakeem Arazi for $750.
So if the boots were $980 originally, how could you afford to sell them to her for $750?
I know a vendor that makes boots and buy them for good deals. This vendor, it's my first time contacting him, as she insisted that she wanted in a week. I told her it will take more than that, but she didn't agree.
And you get
Correct.
the boots, and what happens?
Before he shipped it to me, he asked me to send the money to him, $750, before I even received the boots or even know what they looked like. So knowing our loyalty and our relationship, I decided, okay, I trust you enough to send you the $750. I couldn't tell the difference between leather and fake leather, and it just smelled like fish, and it just looked fake. And then the brand tags weren't even on the right, they weren't the right name, and they were on the sole of the shoe rather than being behind. It just, for me, having to meet expectations, my followers.
Your reputation is on the line.
Exactly.
So you can't have these fake boots.
And now my reputation is still online because, well, now I didn't meet the expectations. I didn't post anything for them to know because they were waiting for it. And it just makes me look bad.
What was your response?
I said, well, I didn't see them. I shipped it directly to you because you want it as fast as possible. And I contacted the vendor. He said that he didn't notice.
Why are we in my courtroom?
Because, Your Honor, my store policy is store credit only, and she wants her money back. She knows well my store credit policy.
Why not give her her money back?
Your Honor, I didn't see the shoe. And if I do this with her, and if she come up and talk with someone else, and they all know that I bend my rule, then they will all come back to me.
Well, let me tell you, it's not about bending your rule. They're going to all know that you sold her some fake boots.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return.
All right, so where are the fake boots now?
I just tried giving them back, but they're not in use. They're just sitting there. They're not being, he doesn't want to take them back. He doesn't want my money back. I don't know what to do with them.
All right, so this is what's going to happen. The next 48 hours, you're going to send these boots back, right, to him, and you're going to have them sent with registered mail, so you have a receipt. And you are going to pay her $800, not $750, $800 for the time that she's got to pack them up, send them over to you, and what you do with the boots after that is on you. I'm not going to have her get a store credit. I wouldn't want to do business with you either. I don't know why she'd want to do business with you again. She's been a loyal customer before. What you should have done is you should have said, listen, I'm going to bend my policy. Instead of giving you a store credit, I'm going to give you the $750 back because you did not get what I promised. And I know you're going to say, well, Judge, I didn't see the boots. They came from somebody else. It's still on you because she gave you the $750. She didn't give it to the person that you got the boots from. She gave it to you. And so you owe her the $750 plus another $50 for handling and shipping that you're going to get these boots back to him. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. Nothing further, we'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $800.
I'm really glad that the judge gave me my money. I'm just disappointed that we ended up in court.
Well, I'm sorry too for this. I hope we can make business again.